Sometimes there are moments that feel like political whiplash, and this time it started with Donald Trump calling MTG a traitor, and ended with one of the most confusing optics we've seen in a very long time. The president of the America First movement and Maga sat comfortably in the Oval Office with the Democratic Socialist mayor of New York City. If people wanted to attack MTG for going on The View, then they should have been just as vocal about Donald Trump smiling and exchanging lines with someone who openly opposed almost everything he stood for. The double standards were obvious. Now, the reality was that sometimes you sit across from the enemy. Sometimes you do exchange notes. Sometimes you give praise when your own team is getting the job done, or not getting the job done. I mean, MTG gave praise to Nancy Pelosi for her correct leadership and getting her team to do what they needed to do. And she says, I wish my team would do the same thing. That's not traitorism. That is literally pointing it out. I mean, in sports, they analyze their own plays and then the plays of the opposing team, all to improve. Also, good sportsmanship, people. Politics is working the same way. It's supposed to work the same way. We need to get better. We need to think smarter. And we need to stop pretending that questioning Donald Trump is forbidden. No one is perfect. Not even Donald Trump. It's hard to admit that. And pretending everything that he does is always 4D chess does not help our movement. What helps is being outspoken. When something feels wrong, it doesn't mean that anyone's not supporting Donald Trump or stop supporting Donald Trump. I never left the Trump train, not once, and nor do I plan to. But standing with someone also means speaking up when they drift off the track. And that is loyalty, not betrayal. And MTG is correct. A lot of people like herself, myself, others, have been loyal to Donald Trump. We've been here, we've sacrificed for Donald Trump. But we're not brought into the inner circle. Meanwhile, we've watched never-Trumpers, people on and off the Trump train, influencers that weren't for him for the 4 years, people who talked, garbage, like garbage about Donald Trump. And we're not for love, not for just as in plain garbage. Be brought into the circle. I know they say bring your enemies closer, but come on, you don't surround yourself with all enemies that push out the rest of us. That's betrayal to us. So MTG's resignation speech spelled out a lot of what I've been saying in my podcast, and a lot of what any constitutionalist for liberty already has understood. The left and the right has built a giant complex, a giant industry out of winning and losing elections. I mean, some of them make more money losing elections. They've gone to the extremes on both sides. They raise money doing this. They fuel outrage. And then they lock themselves into a campaign safe mode when the seasons changed. As she said, many of the bills that should have been voted on during the shutdown sat on the speaker's desk. And now everybody's gone to, don't rock the boat. We got to get our donor money. Forget what the people are. We're not representing them. We only represent the donor class. And nothing gets done. The people are forgotten. The system keeps cashing checks. Her speech was not betrayal. It was a spotlight on how both parties operate. Now, I've never been someone who blindly followed MTG. I think she was part of the QAnon stuff. But I can recognize when someone's telling the truth. Now, I thought of MTG as kind of the AOC of the Republican Party. Some people have said that too. But I know when she's telling the truth. She fought for Trump. She fought for Maga. She fought for America First. They're the same thing, people. She took hits most Republicans would never risk. And calling her a traitor is just nonsense. And at the end of that week, Trump himself softened. Makes you wonder if he writes his own tweets sometimes. He said he simply did not see eye to eye with her on certain subjects. He mentioned her support for the Republican Congressperson Massey that he didn't like. And then he said she's a very nice woman. Folks, that's a long distance from calling someone a traitor. And that highlights the biggest point. Trump needs to be more responsible with his words. When a president uses accusations like traitor or calls for harsh punishments, it carries weight. It has consequences. People take it seriously, and we expect a better from someone leading the movement we believe in. Not because we dislike him, but because we want him to succeed. Folks, even right now in my own group, Gays for Trump, Gay Republicans, especially on Facebook, I'm getting pushback. We're going to have a lot of people come into our room. 5,000 people and growing in Gay Republicans, 4,000 in Gays for Trump and growing, some crossover. We keep growing. And weekly, there are people who come in and they push back and they don't want to have a civil conversation. They want to come in and troll and they want to treat you like dirt. And they don't understand I'm the admin. I am the person who created the group. It is my group. It is my house. Just like at Thanksgiving, if somebody comes to your house or any party or any group and they're disrespectful, they've got to go. If they're willing to have a civil conversation or take a time out for a moment and come back and be nice, then hey, let's go for it. But I'm not going to allow people to come in and cause problems and cause the unity to disappear. So I thank you for everybody who comes in to my groups or comes here into the comments and comments on these videos and comments things that we can work on, we can compromise. But if you want to be a troll, bye-bye. So with all of this, folks, cracks are revealed, including tensions and the confusion inside our own side. But it also proves the truth behind what MTG said. We're not losing because of her. We are losing because too many people profit from chaos, while the work that needs to be done keeps getting ignored. We'll be right back with more Go Right news.
If we want to win, we need focus, not panic. We need discipline, not denial. The movement survives when the truth gets louder than the drama. It is time to go right. It is time to go right. It is time to go right. For the people. For the truth. For this constitutional republic.
Remember, we fight for what's right because it's time to go right. Welcome back to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. This is my commentary, so I'm going to ask the question today. Is America first tearing itself apart while pretending the enemy is everywhere else? Now, sometimes you watch a political moment, feel like someone finally said out loud what someone else or everyone else has been whispering. That's exactly what happened when Marjorie Taylor Greene delivered her 10-minute resignation statement. And I tell you, I never thought I would be upset. But I am so upset that she's dropping out. People can pretend to hate it, but the truth is, they hate what is forced They hate that it has forced them to face the problems inside the movement instead of distracting themselves with the usual finger pointing. She said the same things that many of us have been saying for years. We cannot save a constitutional republic while half the movement is too busy attacking the other half. You cannot fix a country if you cannot even hold a conversation inside your own ranks without someone screaming traitor, rhino, grifter, or infiltrator. MTG called out the sickness. The sickness did not start with her. With that note, I run Gays for Trump. I run a large gay Republican group. I know there's people on Trump's inner circle that have blacklisted people like me. People in the log cabin Republican group, people who are supposed to be on my own side, have blacklisted people like me who don't let us get close to Trump. It doesn't stop what I'm going to continue to do. And if that's calling people out on both sides, I'll continue to do that. And I know people come in my group, they cause arguments and conflicts, and if they're not willing to conversate or have a civil conversation or build, they can go. And it's funny though, interestingly, the loudest voices crying betrayal are the same people who conveniently ignore identical behavior from their favorite figure. Donald Trump, who attacked MTG for going on The View and being civil. They claim she was weak, compromised, or selling out. Yet the man they claim they defend above all else, Donald Trump, sat down with a Democratic Socialist Muslim mayor in New York and was perfectly civil. Apparently, civility is only treason when it is not your preferred champion doing it. For people. Folks, if it wasn't for me going on to lots and lots of the enemy's news media, being interviewed, taking the hits, the equivalent of The View, basically for a lot of things, marching into the lion's den, I wouldn't be able to reach the crowd that I've reached with this group. I wouldn't be able to talk about Go Right. I wouldn't be able to talk about Gays for Trump. I wouldn't be able to get that information out there because people are a slave to where they like to go. People like to watch Fox News. People like to watch ABC News. People like to watch CNN. So you got to go to them to get the message out. Otherwise, we're just talking in an echo chamber. Now, this is the hypocrisy that corrodes movements from the inside. Anyone who has watched politics long enough understands that being civil with your critics is not surrender. It's strategy, it is optics, it is leadership, and it is how you win undecided voters and how you reach people outside that echo chamber. That's what I do. So MTG is right about the division. She's right about the hate on both sides. She is right that neither side will fix anything if they cannot stop fighting long enough to see the real opposition. You cannot defeat a political machine when your own activists spend more time trying to destroy each other than trying to destroy corruption. I mean, on TV now, we have a commercial that's going on for a race that hasn't even started yet. I don't even think it's part of the midterms, or maybe it is. These commercials every day, destroying somebody. Nobody's even filed yet. Destroying for a local Senate seat. It's getting irritating. I know people are going to compete each other, but these attack aids, oh man. So, supporting MTG and supporting Donald Trump are not conflicting choices, folks. Both have the same ultimate goal. Both want to secure the country. They want to end the chaos and restore a functioning constitutional republic. The problem is not with them. The problem is with the people who claim to support America First and Maga. They're the same, while tearing apart anyone who does not speak in their preferred tone or purity code. I know that firsthand. Division is easy. Unity takes work. And the people screaming the loudest about betrayal are always the ones doing the least to help build anything real. It's easier to knock down. It's easier to knock down than build. It gets more views causing problems. I don't get as many views because I talk unity. Other people talk defeat. They call out rhetoric and want to cause problems and they get the views. Plenty in my own movement that I disagree with. They try to push people out of the movement, push people out, and they get views. I don't get the views because I talk about unity. Nobody wants to hear about peace. Nobody wants to hear the actual problems getting fixed. It's strange. Ultimately, folks, MTG told the truth. It's just some people did not want to hear it. Folks, we got to do better. It's time to go right.